The Eight-Limbed Boy, the haunting story of Deepak Paswan. In the dust and poverty of Bihar, India, in the year 2003, a child was born who would divide the world between awe and terror. His name was Deepak Paswan. From the moment of his birth, the midwife froze in shock, for from his small chest and abdomen sprouted more than his own arms and legs. There were the twisted limbs of another, a half-formed sibling that had never lived, yet clung to him like a shadow that would never let go. Doctors knew the name, a parasitic twin, but to villagers it was something else. Some whispered that he was the incarnation of Vishnu, the god with many limbs. They came from far and wide to bow before him, to place offerings at his family's door. But others recoiled. To them, he was cursed, an omen, a devil child, and they threw stones to drive him away. And in the middle of this stood only a boy who wanted to run, to laugh, to go to school. But the weight of his twin pulled him down, pressing on his chest, stealing his breath. He hid his deformity beneath his shirt, but he could never hide the stares. His father carried him through the streets, shielding him not from pain, but from humiliation. His mother tended the sores, the itching infections that spread across the skin where the twin fused with him. As Deepak grew, the myths grew louder. The eight-limbed boy, the miracle, the curse. But Deepak whispered the truth to his father. I am tired of being different. I just want to live normally. In 2010, when he was 7 years old, his family made a desperate appeal. The operation would cost $50,000, an impossible sum for a poor construction worker's household. But fortune at last shifted. Fortis Hospital in Bangalore agreed to perform the surgery free of charge. The risk was immense. Imaging revealed that the parasitic twins' arteries were fed directly by Deepak's heart. One wrong cut, and he would bleed out on the table. His intestines and liver were partially entangled. And yet, doctors knew there was no more time to wait. On the morning of the surgery, his parents sat trembling in the waiting room. 4 hours felt like an eternity. His mother prayed, whispering through tears. His father clutched his hands together, knowing his son's life balanced on the edge of a knife. Inside the operating theater, 6 surgeons fought against nature's cruelest design. They clamped the great artery, separated organ from organ, and slowly peeled away the lifeless twin that had defined him. When it was over, Chief Surgeon Ramcharan Thiagarajan declared it a miracle. Deepak had survived. When he awoke, groggy and bandaged, he touched his chest and felt lighter. For the first time, he could breathe without the crushing weight. For the first time, he could imagine a life beyond the label of Octoboy. His mother wept with relief. Once we knew he had made it through, all of the fear left us. Suddenly, all we could see was a brighter future. His father, smiling for the first time in years, whispered that his dream had come true. His son would be able to go to school, to run, to live like any boy of his age. Deepak bears only a scar now, 6 inches long, a thin reminder of the twin that had once bound him in legend. Some say he still jokes that his father cut off the extra body and threw it away in the fields. Beyond that, he rarely speaks of it. He is too busy running with friends, breathing freely, living the childhood he once could only dream of. But his story endures. A child worshipped as a god, feared as a demon, mocked by crowds, and finally freed by the hands of surgeons. The marvel was real, the horror was real, and the questions remain. Why do some survive this cruel lottery of birth, while others are lost? Why do some become myths, while others are forgotten? Deepak Paswan's life is a haunting reminder of the thin line between miracle and curse, that sometimes the most extraordinary monsters are not creatures of imagination, but children born into a world unprepared to see them as human. But Deepak was not the only child whose body defied belief. Have you ever heard of the porcelain girl? A young woman whose skin, bones, even her very body seemed to turn to fragile porcelain. Her story is darker still, and it will haunt you.